Today I'm going to be installing some rubber weather stripping around the perimeter of my doors. I've got the car almost ready to paint. Everything's primered and block sanded. And I'm going to install the doors on there before I paint the car. But before I do that, I wanted to get the weather stripping on here because when the doors are installed, it's going to be a lot harder to get this installed properly. First thing I'm going to do is take some of this wax and grease remover and go all around the seals and the door where the contact is going to be made. And then I'm going to use some of this 3M weather strip adhesive to bond it in place. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do, this is the back side of the door, and this will go right here like this. A screw goes through here and attaches to a window channel that's in there. I don't have that in, so I'm just going to put a little screw there with a nut on the back side to hold it in place. And I'm going to weather strip or glue it with some weather strip adhesive down to about this distance here on both ends, and then I will do the rest of it, because sometimes these seals or these strips are slightly too long or too short, and if I want to get the ends just right, I'll glue them in first, and then the rest of it can either stretch a little bit or bunch up a little bit to make it fit so that the ends come out just right on both sides. I'm going to be using a little popsicle stick that I've flattened off one end. And I'm just going to put a little bead, not too much, just kind of right up along here. Up at the very top, I'm going to put it on the back side here too. Then I'm going to take and kind of flat this off like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, put a little bit right there. And then right on down here, this is the part that will mate with the other, with the door there. Oops. If I can hang on to it. Do the same thing with it, kind of flat it off, spread it out a little bit. Now I will let both of those kind of dry till they get sort of tacky. And then while the other side is getting tacky, I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I'm back over on the first side. That's feels pretty tacky, pretty dry there a little bit. So now I'm going to put another little bead on here. Spread it. And I'm just putting it on one side this time. And then while it's still wet, I'm going to bring this up here, see if I can get it right in position. Okay, I need to go ahead and get this pushed down here. Now, before I just stick this on here, I'm going to start over here and bring this around just to make sure I don't have it twisted in any way. Okay, so this is how it goes. I'm going to come right up here. And I know that this flat needs to be even with the top of the door right here. So I'm going to get it even there, just like that. And I can come right on down here, put this in place. Okay, so there's how it's going to lay. So by putting on both ends, this can kind of stretch and find its center point where it likes to lay just right. So now what I will do is pick this up like this, and I'll come in here and go all the way around. I can flip this out and do the underneath side of that and just follow the same procedure. Then I will come along here, and where I've got a little bit of glue kind of sticking out right in there, I'll clean that up so it'll look nice and neat when I'm all done. And that's pretty much all it is. Now you can do this when the door is on the vehicle, but it's going to be a lot more trouble up in this area here because you got the door hinges here and you just don't have a lot of room to work. Here's what that looks like. I've got the adhesive on both sides. Letting it dry now. Clean up any areas where you got little smears or strings or whatever, even down in this area here. I'm going to use some of this same wax and grease remover. Just put a little on a paper towel, and it seems to work pretty good, and it won't damage the paint. And it's kind of up to you as to how carried away you want to get in getting every little speck off. It's a little time consuming, but you can make it look pretty nice. And I'm calling that good enough right there. I think it looks pretty good all the way around. And the most important thing I can tell you is to glue both sides a little bit first. Because if you just start gluing here and you work your way all the way around over to here and up to here, why, by the time you get up here, you may be an inch too long or an inch too short or whatever. But if you glue your two sides first, your two ends first, then the rest of it can kind of conform as it needs to.